Okay guys, this is me again, and this is going to be a sort of a different video. I just want to give a shout out to one of my favorite developers on the DS, and it's InSpace. I don't know if the company is still around, or if they are still around, what they're doing now, or what. But with every iteration of every DS game, it seemed to me that they pushed that system as best as they could, or they finally tuned their game engine to just make that handheld almost feel like a true console. Maybe that's going too far, but that's just my thoughts. Anyway, starting off, be Bloodstone 007. You can't go wrong with the James Bond, and I love the series a lot, the movies, especially the new ones with Craig. He's really good. A good actor as well. Which, gonna go off on a side note. There's a movie he played in. I've only seen it once, but takes place back in the 40s, and him and some Jews are hiding in the woods, escaping from the Nazis. It's based off a true story, off of I think like 2 or 3 brothers. And like I said, I've only seen it one time. I don't own the movie, but a really, really good movie. Forgot what it's called, but it's based off of a true story. And afterwards, in real life, the brothers moved to New York and opened up a, I think a moving company or whatever. But if you can check IMDb or whatever, but really good movie. But anyway, back to the game. It's a third-person shooter with cover-based mechanics. I believe it's an original story, I believe. Good game. You pick up different weapons. You can do hand-to-hand combat. There's some racing segments, some boat segments. My only complaint with this game is, during the boat and driving sections, there's literally 0 sense of speed. That's my only problem. You don't get a sense of speed during those driving missions. Other than that, the sound effects are good. The music is good. There's even bits and pieces of speech, and they come off really good. I don't know if they're truly the actors and the actresses, or just somebody who can do a really good impersonation, but Craig's voice sounds like Craig. Judi Dench, she sounds like Judi Dench. So if it is the actual actors and actresses, you know, you can actually tell what they're saying, as opposed to just some gibberish. But they did a good job on this game, and I really recommend this to anybody who likes shooters and who has a DS. Next up will be the Call of Duty series, starting with Call of Duty World at War. Really good game, and this is probably one of my top 3 favorite Call of Duty games, just because of that flamethrower. I love that, using that flamethrower is really fun. Good game. Once again, they really did a good job as far as the AI is actually halfway decent. It gets better way as the series goes on, but really good game. My only flaw with this, and it's my only flaw with all the other games, is like they just had to tack in some mini games, pointless mini games that had nothing to do with, well, some did, but they felt tacked on, you know. That's my complaint with a lot of DS games. You had to force stylus control in a lot of games, and I hate that, you know. If it flows naturally, that's one thing. But when you tack them in just to have somebody having to grab the stylus and tap stuff or circle stuff, then it takes away from me being immersed in the game, you know. then once I finish the mini game, I got to go back to doing what I'm doing, whether driving or shooting or whatever it may be. But that's my only complaint with a lot of DS games, is those, the little mini games, whether it's defusing bombs or tracing stuff or whatever, just kind of pointless. But the weapon selection is really good. Just a good game all around. Next up would be Modern Warfare, and this would be the weakest of the series in my opinion. And that's mainly because of bad guys. Now I don't know if this came first or World at War, but I think World at War came first. But I don't know. But anyway, if I had to guess, I would assume this one came first because this is like one of the worst games. And it's still good. It's just one of the worst out of all the ones they've done. Weapon selection isn't really that good. Horrible mini games, which they're all horrible. But my main complaint in this game, besides the mini games, is the bad guys. Man, it takes literally half a clip or more just to kill one bad guy, So, and I only really remember using the M16 or I think either the M16 or the M4A, because it had a bigger magazine. And if I'm shooting one guy that takes half the magazine or the whole magazine, what's the point in carrying maybe a better gun, but with a smaller magazine, because you're having to change clips out every 3 seconds or whatever. But in summary, the bad guys were like bullet sponges, and that was my only draw. Even if you shoot him in the head, the same thing, But next up would be Modern Warfare Mobilized. And good game. It gets a whole lot better than the previous one I just showed off. And once again, InSpace really shows what they can do with this game engine. It seems like they found some kind of way to tweak it in every game, to really show that they weren't just a copy paste, deal just to sell it off, under that Call of Duty brand, like a lot of sports titles do. They'll change the roster, maybe update a couple of graphics with the clouds or the field, and that's it, and slap a new, NBA, whatever year it is, and that's it. But these guys seem to have tweaked the game engine with every iteration of their Call of Duty series, and that really is commendable in my book, And once again, Call of Duty Black Ops, and this is one of the, I think this is the last one, I believe, but the last one is the best one, and it's only because I can't get the focus in real well, but this one has zombie mode. Yep, zombie mode. And what more can I say? I mean, this game does it really well. You can use your buttons or your stylus. And I'm real finicky about using the stylus on a lot of games because I feel that, you could damage the screen. Maybe I'm just being, overly cautious, but I don't like using the stylus if I don't have to, But this game is really, really good, man. They did a really good job on this one. And zombie mode is really good. Sometimes I'll play this game just because of zombie mode, And this needs to come to the Switch. I know the new Call of Duty game isn't coming out this year, but you know what? I would take a Switch version of zombie mode just as a standalone game, Package it in, maybe for 20 bucks, and I'd be fine with that, I'm not a big Call of Duty fan anyway, especially the online stuff. I'm more of a single player guy myself. But if they could package in a zombie mode for just the Switch for 20 or 25 bucks, maybe 30 bucks, I'd be fine with that, you know. Oh, sorry. And the last one up would be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Defiance. And this is good for 1 or 2 levels I really like, because there's like 1 or 2 levels that plays almost like a strategy type game. I'm gonna have to get a video, some video footage of what I'm talking about, so you can see what I'm talking about. But you play as 2 different campaigns, the U.S. and the British forces through the game. And I might do a video walkthrough of this, because it's really good, especially the levels I'm talking about, where you can, it's almost like a strategy game, where I think it's top down, I believe it is. And it's the way they did it, I really wish they would have given us an entire game just based around that. But I'm going to do a video walkthrough, or at least capture some footage of the levels I'm talking about so you can see it. But the way they did it was really good. But I think it's only like 2 or 3 levels in the entire game. But that's it, guys, for just a shout out to the video game developer In Space, who did a phenomenal job on the DS through the Call of Duty series and the James Bond game Bloodstone. If you have a DS and you're a fan of shooters, I highly recommend this series. You can't go wrong. Okay, guys, signing off.